Welcome to DEMOCREPUBLIX, where we cover the real news that matter to we the people. Jeffrey Epstein visited Clinton White House multiple times in the early 90s. The Daily Beast reports that days after Jeffrey Epstein's arrest on sex trafficking charges in New York, Bill Clinton distanced himself from the high-flying financier and convicted sex offender. The former president owned up to just 6 encounters with Epstein, starting in 2002. 4 flights on the billionaire's private jets, a single trip to his Harlem office, and 1 brief visit to his New York apartment, all with staff and security detail in tow. Now, a Daily Beast investigation has uncovered ties between Epstein and the Clinton administration that date back to the president's earliest days in the White House, casting doubt on an off-circulated narrative that the two only began associating after Clinton left office. As early as 1993, records show Epstein donated $10,000 to the White House Historical Association and attended a donors reception hosted by Bill and Hillary Clinton. Around the same time, according to a source familiar with the connection, Epstein visited presidential aide Mark Middleton several times at the White House. 2 years later, businessman Lynn Forrester, Dave Rothschild, wrote a personal letter to Clinton thanking him for their talk about the financier. Quote, President Clinton knows nothing about the terrible crimes Jeffrey Epstein pleaded guilty to in Florida some years ago, or those with which he has been recently charged in New York. Clinton spokesperson Angel Urena told the Daily Beast any suggestion to the contrary is both factually inaccurate and irresponsible. Representatives for Epstein, Dave Rothschild, and Middleton did not respond to multiple requests for comments. Well, we know it's a lie. He only visited them 6 times. We know from flight logs that Bill Clinton flew, I think it was 26 times, I believe, on the Lolita with Epstein. And women came out and said it was young girls on there when they were flying on there on the plane multiple times. Okay, the article goes on to say, dinner at the White House. How Epstein entered Clinton's orbit remains unclear. When the president released his initial statement on Epstein, he did not explain the multiple other trips he appears to have taken on the financier's plane, including 1 flight to Westchester with Epstein, his alleged Madam Ghislaine Maxwell, and an unnamed female. Clinton also failed to mention the intimate 1995 fundraising dinner at the Palm Beach home of Revlon mogul Ron Perelman, where Clinton hobnobbed with the likes of Epstein, Don Johnson, and Jimmy Buffett. Nearby at Epstein's own Palm Beach mansion, the money man allegedly abused hundreds of underage girls. The two were clearly chummy by the early Clinton Foundation years, as attested by the 2002 photo of Epstein and Clinton in Brunei that appeared in Vicky Ward's 2003 profile of the financier. In a 2002 piece, the New York Magazine, about the Africa trip, Clinton praised Epstein as a highly successful financier and a committed philanthropist. Politico recently claimed that that Clinton and Epstein connected in the first few years after the president left office, citing people who know those involved. The article pegged Maxwell as the glue connecting the two men, and Clinton's daughter Chelsea as the tie between the president and the British socialite. Politico noted that Maxwell had vacationed with Chelsea in 2009, attended her wedding in 2010, and participated in the Clinton Global Initiative as recently as 2013, as a Clinton spokesperson denied Chelsea and Ghislaine were close. Documents in the Clinton library, however, attest to much earlier links between Maxwell, Epstein, and the Clinton White House. In late September 1993, Bill and Hillary Clinton hosted a reception for supporters who had contributed to recent White House renovations. The nearly 400,000 overhaul, which included new gold draperies and a 13-color woven rug, for the Oval Office was funded entirely by donations to the White House Historical Association, a private organization that helps preserve and promote the White House as a historical monument. The reception took place at the White House residence from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. according to a copy of the president's daily schedule. White House Social Secretary Ann Stark, who appears in Epstein's little black book of phone numbers, was listed as the point of contact. According to multiple attendees, the evening included an intimate tour of the newly refurbished residence, followed by a receiving line with the president and the first lady. Dessert was served in the East Room, where the couple thanked everyone for attending and announced the Committee for the Preservation of the White House. Guests for the event, according to the invitation list, included journalist and philanthropist Barbara Goldsmith, heiress Jane Eaglehart, political consultant Cynthia Friedman, and Mr. Jeffrey Epstein, and Miss Ghislaine Maxwell. Epstein and Maxwell did not appear on the regret list, and there's a letter A next to both of their names indicating they plan to attend. A press release from the event put out by Hillary Clinton office lists Epstein as White House Historical Association donor. Attorneys for Epstein did not respond to the repeated requests for comment. A letter from the following month reveals the extent of the financier's generosity. Bernard R. Meyer, the executive vice president of the White House Historical Association, sent a note to Epstein's Madison Square Garden office on October 4th, thanking him for his $10,000 contribution. The donation, Meyer wrote, would assist in funding the cost of the refurbishing the Oval Office in the West Wing and certain areas of the executive residence. A carbon copy of Meyer's letter was also sent to A. Paul Properi, a college friend of Bill Clinton's who visited Epstein frequently when the financier was jailed in 2008. Visitors logs show Prosperi, a Florida-based attorney, visited Epstein at least 20 times during the 13 months he spent in Palm Beach County Jail for procuring an underage prostitute. Prosperi also attended the 1995 Parliament's fundraiser, where both Epstein and Clinton were present. The White House refused to identify anyone associated with the Historical Association fundraising at the time, but records show Prosperi was intimately involved. The attorney is CC'd on letters to numerous donors in which Myers identified him as the recipient of the contributions. Prosperi even wrote a $10,000 check to the association itself, according to a letter from Hillary Clinton's personal counsel, Susan Thomas. I am forwarding the enclosed check in the amount of $10,000 to the White House Historical Association, Thomas wrote to Myers in 1993. I expect to receive additional contributions. We'll forward them to you. Prosperi was convicted of fraud, filing false tax returns and forging securities to hide his multi-million-dollar swindle of a client in 1997. Clinton commuted his sentence in 2001 in one of his last acts as president. The attorney died in 2016. And now you got some White House contacts. Epstein name also turns up a connection with another shadowy figure in the Clinton administration, White House aide Marky Middleton, a friend of Clinton's from Arkansas and an early addition to the president's campaign. He joined the administration in 1993 as a special assistant to Chief of Staff Mac McClarty, another Arkansas insider, and added deputy to the counselor to his title in 1994. Over the same time period, a source with knowledge of the situation told the Daily Beast Middleton met with Epstein in the White House at least 3 times. It's unclear what they discussed or for how long. Middleton did not respond to the repeated calls and emails for comment or to a reporter who visited his home in Arkansas. Middleton and Epstein also appeared to have shared a famous friend in common, Donald Trump, who once called Epstein a terrific guy, sent Middleton a signed copy of his book, The Art of the Deal, while the lawyer was working in the White House. The inscription read, "To Mark, best wishes. Your mom is the best." Hobnobbing with a businessman like Epstein and Trump was part and parcel of Middleton's White House job, according to a 1999 report from the House Committee on Government Reform. In the course of his duties, Middleton was in contact with many prominent business people and contributors to the president, the report states. But also got the lawyer in trouble with the administration once he left. According to a 1996 Los Angeles Times article, Middleton maintained a telephone line at the White House for months after he departed, directing callers to the trade company where he started working afterwards. He also allegedly held onto his White House business cards. That same year, the administration revoked Middleton's access to the executive mansion without high-level approval, claiming he had abused his access to the White House to impress personal business clients. Middleton eventually left the trade company to start his own international consulting business, but controversy followed him. In 1999, the House Committee on Government Reform subpoenaed him to testify in hearings about nearly $500,000 in foreign donations to the Clinton re-election campaign and the Democratic National Committee. The attorney refused to testify, invoking his right against self-incrimination. Several other figures in the scandal were later convicted of campaign finance violations. It seems like everyone in this circle is doing some type of illegal stuff. And then the article goes on. This is the last part of the article. My 15 seconds of access. Jeffrey Epstein's name shows up again in the Clinton Library archives in a letter dated April 27, 1995, from Lynn Forrester to President William T. Clinton. Forrester, who became Lynn Forrester de Rothschild after her marriage in 2000 to Sir Evelyn Robert de Rothschild, served on Clinton's National Information Infrastructure Advisory Committee and on the President's Secretary of Energy Advisory Board. She and her husband also spent the first night of their honeymoon in the Lincoln bedroom by invitation of the Clintons. In a 1995 letter, Forrester de Rothschild writes, "Dear Mr. President, it was a pleasure to see you recently at the Senator's Kennedy House. There were too much to discuss in too little time. Using my 15 seconds of access to discuss Jeffrey Epstein and currency stabilization, I neglect to talk to you about a topic near and dear to my heart, namely affirmative action and the future." She then goes on to note that she's sending him a memo on the letter's subject, which George Stephanopoulos had asked her to write and sign off. Sincerely, Lynn Forrester. The businesswoman did not respond to a request for comment and left her office. What exactly Forrester de Rothschild discussed with Clinton about Epstein and currency stabilization is unknown. In his 2002 profile, Epstein, New York noted that the Mistress Money Man liked to talk currency trading with his brainy pals. The euro, the real, the yen. In 2003, Vicky Ward reported in Vanity Fair on his self-declared skills at playing the currency markets with very large sums of money. Epstein was also doing business and trading currencies with Deutsche Bank until a few months ago when the bank ended the relationship. Alan Dershowitz, Epstein's one-time lawyer, previously claimed Forrester de Rothschild was the first to introduce him to his future client. In a recent interview with New York Magazine, Dershowitz recounted that in the summer of 1996 at the party of Martha's Vineyard for Lord Rothschild, Forrester de Rothschild told him, "I have this friend. He really would like to meet you." The friend turned out to be Epstein, another Brooklyn guy made big. He was feisty. He was utterly politically incorrect, Dershowitz recalled. He was interesting to be with. Dershowitz has also been accused of by an alleged victim of molesting her at Epstein's Palm Beach house and on his private island. He vehemently denies the allegations. So, I mean, this article just basically just goes over all the ties and that Epstein had with these high-ranking political figures like Bill Clinton and the lawyers and all these other people. And it seems like the other people that has ties to him are guilty of crimes also. It's like everyone that has to do with Epstein is doing some type of dirt. It's crazy how all these people seem to be connected and to Epstein. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and check out DEMOCREPUBLIX.com for the latest in news. Until next time. We live in a really nightmare. We live in a really nightmare.